The Lakers, who are currently fighting for playoff position in the last stretch of the season, lose a very important game, and it's due to some of their old problems coming back to bite them. And this could be a massive problem for the Lakers if this continues. What's good, y'all, and welcome to another Lakers Digest video. I'm your host, Okechi Apakama, and before we get into that game recaps, guys, I want to bring your attention to something. There is 88% of you guys who have recently watched our videos who are not subscribed to the channel just yet, and if you guys want more of that Laker news, Laker reactions, game recaps, trade rumors, just every and all things LA Lakers, you guys want to come right here to Lakers Digest so you guys do not miss a beat. Now, with that out the way, guys, let's hop straight into that game recap, guys, because that was definitely a disappointing loss for the Lakers, as the Lakers can't get it done in Phoenix. So, the Lakers played the Phoenix Suns in a matinee ABC game, and they lost that one 123 to 113. And the Lakers they kind of needed this game, especially with the standings and where they are with Phoenix, where they started the day. The Lakers and Phoenix were just right there at 9 and 8. And this would have been a very important game for the Lakers to win in order to hopefully leapfrog them later on in the season, as they already own the tiebreaker against the Phoenix Suns after beating them 3 times already this season. But this game right here, it was a very important game for the Lakers to get, and they weren't able to get it done, as I said. It was just kind of like a myriad of reasons, but the main one being some of their old habits that are coming back, and it's bad first quarters and being a little too small, so defensive rebounding, and surprisingly enough, free throws were some of the issues for the Los Angeles Lakers in this game. So let's take a look at those stats as we look at it for the Lakers. Anthony Davis, while he did have a slow start on the offensive end, he did come alive, having 22 points, 14 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. LeBron James was solid as ever. 28 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. D'Angelo Russell was shooting the lights out. He had 20 points to go along with 7 assists. Austin Reaves had just a subpar game for Austin Reeves' caliber. He had about 14 points to go along with 4 rebounds and 4 assists. And Hachimura had about 13 points and about 26 minutes of action there. But even if you look down the Lakers roster, there's only 2 other guys who really got impact minutes there, and that was Taurean Prince and Spencer Dinwiddie with 27 and 23 respectively. So the Lakers kind of shortened up their rotation to try to get some more continuity with that starting 5, and it didn't end up working out for the Los Angeles Lakers, as in that first quarter, that's kind of where it all started, where the trouble started, as they gave up 45 points in that one. And when you're giving up 40-point quarters, it's very hard to win basketball games, especially if you don't have 40-point quarters yourself to match that. And the Lakers don't really have a high enough potent offense to do something like that on a consistent basis. So it's important that their defense has to show up on a night-to-night basis, so they don't allow these big quarters and these big runs, so the Lakers aren't having to fight and claw the way back. But this is essentially what happened in this game, as they gave up 45 in that first quarter, and then they were just playing catch up the entire game. They did have some nice quarters in between, and then that was due in part to some of the guys. Like I said, LeBron James was really electric in the offensive end, passing the basketball at a high rate, finding a lot of guys for easy looks. D'Angelo Russell caught fire a little bit, shooting the 3-ball, and then Anthony Davis, towards the end of the game, he really started to pick it up offensively, where he was getting his mid-range jumper falling, and then also having some of those shots that he usually has around the rim. So the Lakers, just all in all, just did not have it from a team perspective. And then also, this comes off the heels of the Phoenix Suns, who were down one of their big 3. Bradley Beal wasn't playing for them. And then so the focus was on KD and Devin Booker. And respectively speaking, they did quite all right on those 2 guys. They didn't really explode or go too crazy, but it was the other guys for the Phoenix Suns. And if we look at their stat sheet, Jusuf Nurkic had 22 rebounds. Yeah, you heard me right. 22 rebounds to go along with 7 offensive rebounds. He was a huge difference in that one. He had also 18 points. Grayson Allen had 6 3-pointers. going 6 for 12 from 3 with 24 points. And then Royce O'Neal, new acquisition for the Phoenix Suns. He had 20 points, 10 rebounds, and also had 6 threes as well. So when you have two guys, role players actually having 6 3-pointers in a game, that's very tough to beat, to go along with also Bol, who had some pretty nice minutes there. He had 11 points off the bench. So the Phoenix role players really came to play for the Los Angeles Lakers, as just top to bottom, all those guys really showed out. When the Lakers would double team either Booker or Kevin Durant, they would spray the ball out to their open shooters, and then they would be hitting shots. I honestly think the Lakers probably should have done a better job on Grayson Allen, because he has been more known to be a guy to knock down those open shots. He did that in Milwaukee, and now he's doing the same thing with the Phoenix Suns, and they couldn't really get out to him fast enough. And then also Royce O'Neal, that's a little bit of an outlier. I kind of understand why the Lakers were leaving him open at some situations, but he has been a guy that has knocked down shots at a high rate, especially with teams like the Utah Jazz in the past. And he's also had this feeling before where teams would leave him open, as he's not really the main focal point on offense. He's just kind of a guy that just kind of like helps around the edges, and he really burned the Lakers for leaving him open at multiple points during this game. And so this whole problem with the Los Angeles Lakers, like I said, the two biggest things for them is defensive rebounding, because they gave up 7 offensive rebounds just to Yusuf Nurkic alone, and they were out rebounded on the offensive end 14-3. So when you have that huge disparity, like the Suns were getting a lot of second chance points, and then they would kick that ball out for 3-point shooters. Hence why guys like Grayson Allen and then Royce O'Neal were open for 3-point shots. So that's what really hurt the Los Angeles Lakers. And then free throws, which isn't something that is really too talked about for Los Angeles Lakers, as they're usually the team that is the one that gets to the line and then always draw fouls. But they had a season low today. They had only 8 3-pointers taken, and just top to bottom, just wasn't thorough effort for the Los Angeles Lakers. And then Darvin Ham, after the game, tried to make sense of some of the things that happened with the Los Angeles Lakers. And the Lakers, who struggle in the defensive rebounding position, this was kind of like my biggest gripe within the game. They didn't have their big players to really help out on the defensive backboards, and so these are guys like Christian Wood, who's played really well against Phoenix this year, and then he's also done a great job on the defensive glass. And then another guy, Jared Vanderbilt, who is always great on Devin Booker, and then can be a guy that you can throw at Kevin Durant as well. So not having those two guys, you really have to find some way to kind of like muster up rebounding. And the Lakers guards that they kind of have in the rotation aren't really huge impact rebounders, as they have guys like Austin Reaves, D'Angelo Russell, Taurean Prince, and Spencer Dinwiddie. All of those guys aren't really massive rebounders. These are guys who can get rebounds, but these aren't guys who are going to sandwich rebound or box out other guys. They're not really in tune. The word not really in tune is the word I would use, but like they're not really looking out to do that on a day-to-day basis, because those usually aren't their strengths. So this is where you gotta have to implement guys that can do that at a high level. And then another guy, Max Christie. So if we want to take a look at those stats one more time, Max Christie, I was really upset here that he only had 5 minutes of total playing time. Max Christie was healthy in this one, healthy enough to play, but he only played, like I said, just 5 minutes. It was like a short little spurt, I think, in the third quarter there, where the Lakers actually went on a run, and then they cut the lead to only just 4 points in that one. But Max Christie did not continue to play, as Lakers went to Spencer Dinwiddie and then more Taurean Prince down the stretch. But Darvin Ham kind of gave a reason to why he was playing more Prince and Dinwiddie in this one. And then he also said after the game that it was due to Anthony Davis's early foul trouble as the reason why he was planning to play Max Christie and didn't really lead to it. But to kind of give you guys a little bit more context on that, Anthony Davis picked up two early fouls in the first quarter there. And Anthony Davis is usually pretty good without picking up fouls. And even when he does have fouls, he usually doesn't pick up that third one. He's usually pretty smart about that. But then they took him out of the game around the 3-minute mark, and they put in Jackson Hayes, which is the Anthony Davis replacement. But Darvin Ham said that kind of affected the way that the Lakers played the rotations, and then that didn't end up. That led to Max Christie not getting any minutes in the first half, where the Lakers could have greatly used him. Instead, they went to Spencer Dinwiddie because they're trying to still implement him and still kind of get him up to speed. And so they're throwing him out here in these minutes where he's kind of like the second or even third guard at times on the offense. So he's been a guy who's been in many catch and shoot situations, or a guy that's supposed to be like either cutting off the ball or doing a lot of off ball work, stuff that he isn't too accustomed to. He's been a guy that can do that in the past, but he's more of an on-ball player. And so when you have him kind of playing out of his role to try to get the most out of him, you can kind of see why these things like offensive rebounds really hurt the Lakers, because it's not Spencer Dinwiddie's strength. It is more of a guy like a Max Christie, who he is very good on defensive rebounds. He really goes up with two hands. He's very athletic, very young, and energetic. So that's the thing that he does to stay on the floor. Whether Spencer Dinwiddie has made his money doing other things on the basketball court, and that's usually on the on-ball side of things. So that was a little bit questioning why Darvin Ham went to that reasoning of why he didn't play Max Christie instead of, or why he didn't play Max Christie. But that's kind of just like kind of been the season for the Los Angeles Lakers, as I feel like not always are playing the right lineups, and that kind of leads to some of these situations that you have here in Phoenix, where this is a game where the Lakers definitely could have had, but not playing the right lineups. And then some of these other things that kind of leads me to my next point here. And it's just like, is this a tough spot here for the Los Angeles Lakers? So right now they are currently in 9th place in the Western Conference, which will do you for a home game in the first play-in round. But then you have to play another game and then to get into the actual playoffs. So this isn't really a spot where the Lakers want to be. But they have a lot of home games coming up, but it's against a lot of good teams coming down here. So in the beginning of March, they're going to have a lot of home games, a good stretch, but there's going to be teams like Denver. There's going to be teams like Milwaukee. There's going to be teams like Minnesota. There's going to be teams like the Clippers. All of these teams here that are playing well and playing for a playoff position here, they're going to be playing hard. So the Lakers really have to try to get wins where they can. And sure, it's nice to beat up on a nice lowly team like the San Antonio Spurs like they did on Friday, but you're going to need to cap off these big wins against some of these bigger teams if you want to leapfrog them in the standings and don't want to be in these one-game type playoff or play-in type situations, because you don't know what can happen in those types of games. Like some guy can get hot, like a Royce O'Neal, or a Grayson Allen can go off for threes, and then next thing you know, you're out of the playoffs and like you're going home early. So the Los Angeles Lakers have to find a way to sort of bridge that gap with some of the guys who are out and playing the guys in the positions that will prove well for them. Because we can't be going out there and losing some of these games here, especially down the stretch, because there is little margin for error for the Los Angeles Lakers. But that's probably going to be it for this video, guys. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think the Lakers should start using more optimal lineups, or should they try to do what Darvin Ham was saying a little bit and just try to like implement more skill, like a guy like a Spencer Dinwiddie, more often, to try to get the most maximized version of this Laker team? But let us know what you guys think is the right decision in the comments below. Make sure you guys subscribe to Lakers Digest. I have been your host, Okechi Apakama, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.